Alright, and welcome back to another video. Stupid here, and today we're going to take a look at Arceus Inteleon, the most vanilla and generic deck there is, but it's actually really good, and it's super viable. If you're ever unsure of what to play in a tournament, honestly, if you have access to this deck, this is something that I would definitely recommend that you get good with, get familiar with, learn how to play against it as well, and assume what most of your opponents will do with this deck, as it's really solid in general. So let's just dive right in. Of course, though, before we do start, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think of the deck in the comments down below. What you would change to suit your play style, what cards you think would help benefit your local metagame, or, you know, so on and so forth. But yes, alright, let's do it. Alright, so we are rocking a 4-3 Arceus VSTAR line. We'll start with the V here. 220 HP, 2 attacks. One colorless for, sorry, 2 colorless. I'm thinking of one because, you know, like we attach 1 energy to it in the form of double turbo energy. But 1 double turbo energy or 2 colorless energy or whatever. For Trinity Charge, attach up to 3 basic energy cards from your deck to your Pokemon V in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. You do attack with this. It happens quite often. And Power Edge for 130 for 3. It can happen. I've seen it before. I've done it before. You ever just accelerate onto this thing from the previous turn and Power Edge for a KO. It happens. The star of the show. Triple copies of Arceus VSTAR, 280 HP. Trinity Nova for 3 here, 200 damage. Search your deck for 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon V in any way you like. It's really, literally, it's Trinity Charge, but for 1 more energy and it does damage. And then the absolutely goated Starbirth. The V-Star power once per game. You can, during your turn, search your deck for up to 2 cards that you want and put them in your hand and then shuffle your deck. So you can, you know, turn 1 you attach an energy here, turn 2 you evolve, and then Starbirth, grab your double turbo, grab Research, Boss, Big Charm, whatever. We'll talk about all the other cards that are in this deck, but definitely this is where it's at. This is the star of the show here. Continuing on, we are, of course, playing the Inteleon line, everyone's favorite. We've got 4 of the Keep Calling Sobbles. I don't know how many times I need to explain all these bad boys, but we'll get there. Of course, we've got 4 copies of Shady Dealing Drizziles from Sword and Shield base set. Search your deck for a trainer card when you evolve. We've got 2 copies of Inteleon with Shady Dealings. Again, you search for 2 with Inteleon this time around. And then we've got 1 copy of the Rapid Strike Quick Shooting Inteleon from Chilling Reign. Put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon once per turn. This really is your math fixer in most situation scenarios. Since we're not playing Choice Belt, we're relying more on Big Charm for the tanking aspect of Arceus to be able to deny our opponents some prize cards. So this definitely does fix some math sometimes, especially when Double Turbo takes away 20. This will put that 20 right back in place. To round out the Pokemon, not much more going on. We've got 1 copy of Dunsparce for its ability Mysterious Nest to turn off the fighting weakness on your Arceus, so that way they just can't come in with a clutch Zapdos and take a KO. Yeah, a couple of them down. This will protect you in that regards there, and this will become a target in a lot of different matchups. We'll have to deal with this. And for something else we might have to deal with is we have 1 copy of Manaphy to protect our benched Pokemon from things like Radiant Greninja and Urshifu. Trainer cards, supporters, 2 copies of Sharon's Care. Put one of your colorless Pokemon that has any damage counters on it, and all cards attached to it, into your hand. So you swing with an Arceus, they hit you back, they don't KO it somehow, and then you have another one ready to go on the bench thanks to the energy acceleration, and you just pick it up with Sharon's Care, promote the other one, evolve back in place, bench the other one, and rinse repeat. This is absolutely insane. You can do this up to technically 4 times in a game since we do play Pal Pad. Continuing on with supporters, we've got 2 copies of Melanie. We are playing Water Energy to not only go with Inteleon, just Melanie in general is really good to help you get there faster. Attach your Water Energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V, and then draw 3 cards. We've got 2 copies of Marnie for some hand disruption and to give you a refresh if needed, or potentially if you have a handful of energy that you've picked up from the turn before from a Sharon's Care, you can honestly just put it back into the deck on the bottom of the Marnie there. We've got 1 copy of Research, basically just full reset your hand, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Pretty straightforward. This feels really good either before or after a Starbirth, depending on what you get in the rest of the situation in that game state is. We got 1 copy of Boss's Orders to gust up your opponent's Pokemon and take KOs, you know, and deny sort of setup on their potentials. And we've got 1 copy of Roxanne. We are playing Path to the Peak. Roxanne Path is incredibly strong, and in a deck where you can search out all of your outs too. It just feels really good to be able to play this whenever you need to. So keep an eye out for Roxanne. Items. 4 copies of Quick Ball. Grab your basic Pokemon, discard a card. Pretty straightforward. We've got 3 copies of Level Ball. Level Ball will grab everything from Sobble to Drizzile to Manaphy and Dunsparce. Only playing 3 copies. We don't need 4 since we're not playing any other crazy Level Ball targets really here. We are rocking 3 copies of Ultra Ball. This can grab you your anything. You discard 2 cards, grab anything. So this is really good. Also, you can use this to potentially pitch Water Energy early on with Melanie and recur them. We've got 2 Evolution Incense to round out the Pokemon search. This will grab your Drizziles, your Inteleons, your Arceus. And because you have so much search option already with the Inteleon engine, this is pretty much the optimal search package here between these 12 cards. Continuing, we've got 2 copies of Scoop Up Net to be able to pick up and reuse and abuse your Inteleon line, or if you're stuck in the act with a Manaphy or a Dunsparce for whatever purpose, you can scoop it up and get it out of there. We're rocking 2 copies of Big Charm. We're not playing Choice Belt to increase our damage, which most people in the past with Arceus and Inteleon have done so, but honestly, Big Charm really is such a good math fixer. It forces your opponent to waste more resources to get a KO, or if they even whiff after wasting resources, Sharon's Care is just insane, and to be able to just pick this up and put it back down on the next Arceus feels really, really, really good. We've got 1 copy of Palpad, this to let us reuse and abuse any of these lovely supporters here. Especially Sharon's Care and Boss are usually the primary Palpad targets for me when I play. I have put Roxanne back in a few times, but for the most part, I've put Sharon's and Boss back into the deck. To be able to Sharon's potentially 3 or 4 times in a game, I feel like after you've done it the second time, you've already won. But that just like further enhances like, all right, cool, I've got this game, I've won. All right, continuing, last trainer in the form of an item card, we've got Ordinary Rod. Put Pokemon from your discard pile or basic energy into the deck, or both. Do both, and it happens all the time. Discard energy or Pokemon early on for whatever purpose with a Quick Ball or Ultra Ball, or it gets KO'd and you need another piece. This just helps you stay consistent and have that back in the deck. And late game, it helps you continue on the Arceus Sharon's loops, basically. Put the energy back into the deck. Stadiums. 2 copies of Path to the Peak. Turn off all Pokemon with a Roblox. Turn off all their abilities. So Greninja, Crobat, opposing Arceus is Palkia, Eternatus. I mean, I'm just rambling at that point when I say Eternatus. No one's really playing Eternatus. Come on. But still, Path to the Peak's and super insane. Be able to search for it. You can Starbirth into it and then put it down, and then it just honestly feels really good to be like, all right, cool, you have no abilities. I've got this dude where if you can't KO him, I'm going to pick him up, put it back in my hand, and rinse and repeat. And last but not least, we have 1 copy of Collapse Stadium. This is going to help us bump opposing paths to give us Starbirth if need be. We shouldn't really need to, but it is an option. And then also, this just kind of like limits the bench size in the Palkia matchup. And for example, like if you can't Sharon's Care and you have an extra Arceus, they hit into it, they don't KO it, you could also just like retreat and then Collapse Stadium and discard it. And then to round out the deck, we've got 3 copies of Double Turbo. Honestly, you just end up searching for it with Starbirth. So 4 isn't essential here, but 3 feels really good. And you always pick them up anyways with Sharon's by the time you're done doing anything. And then we've got 7 copies of basic Water Energy. Nothing too crazy here. Enough to rinse and repeat a few Arceus and help you potentially swing in with Inteleon as well. But like I said, this is pretty much a very vanilla and straightforward deck, but honestly, mastering this, learning your matchups, playing this very well, feels super good, and it's definitely one of the GOATs at the current moment in time, especially if you're not like 100% familiar with like a metagame. Say you're going to a 1K, it's a few hours away, and you're not sure what to play. A deck like this is honestly a really good call. It's even for online tournaments, because you have just good matchups across the board, and if you play it very well, you don't have to worry about too much. Weakness isn't ever really a threat, because Dunsparce can just turn it off. So And besides, like, there's only a few people really floating around with Urshifu at the moment, so keep that in mind. But that's it. That's the deck. Don't forget, like I said at the beginning of the video, like, comment, and subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content. Gusto One podcast is out for the week as well, so please go take a listen. You should be able to watch the video version by now. By the time this video goes live. And of course, all the sponsors and other links, TCGplayer.com affiliate package, all down below. But that's it for me. Much love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.